Hello and welcome to Henna training. My name is Jenny Fager and I'm going to teach you today the basic idea of henna treatment. At the beginning, we are going to go through the basic information about the ingredients, about the products, and a couple of basic safety issues we are going to take care of while we are making the treatment to the clients. After that, we are going through the actual treatment. I'm going to give you instructions about how to make the perfect treatment. Lately, I have been doing a lot of these treatments, and it's super fun. It's nice treatment to do, and the consumers, the clients, they are very happy about the treatment. So hopefully you enjoyed the training, and let's see. If you have any questions, please contact me. Please contact Hoitolatukku for more information. I can answer your questions later, but I will add at the end of this video a couple of basic questions that I usually hear from professionals who have joined my trainings. So when you are going to have trainings in your home country, you will be able to answer their questions. Of course, sometimes we are going to face some kind of questions we don't know how to answer. Don't worry, just tell them to wait a minute. Please contact us and we try to find the correct answer, and you can give the answers to your clients, your professional clients. So let's see, let's start the video with the theory part. I'm going to have a little break at some point, but I will cut it out from the video, so you don't have to worry about it. So please welcome to my henna training video. Okay, let's start with the theory part. I will share the basic information about the products. Let's see, today we are going to have the theory, and then we are having the break. I will have the demonstration for you, and as I told you before, later I will answer your questions and the basic questions we are going to meet while we are doing the trainings in our home countries. So let's see. Well, henna coloring, it's actually a very old treatment. It's much more older than basic these coloring techniques we are using in our salons nowadays. It's very safe. It's good treatment to do for a client who like a traditional, natural treatment for her eyebrows, or for example, I have a few clients who are super allergic to PPD and are unable to use traditional coloring systems. So they have tested henna brows, and they are very happy and they are able to have the treatment. So this is an old treatment, but in the other hand, it's modern, and the consumers, they don't know it so well yet. So we have a huge work to introduce this treatment to them and make them understand how good and how safe this is. Henna actually, it gives a treatment to the hair. So when the client is having the treatment, her eyebrows are going to get better and get strengthened. So when you compare with the normal coloring systems, tinting systems, this is actually very, very gentle, and it treats the hair. It gets very, very bright, and it's very shiny and thick, the hair. So it's super good treatment. With Candy Brows, especially with these sensitive colors, we use nano capsules, and you can have 2 to 3 treatments per capsule. I usually do a lot of this paste, so I'm a heavy user, but still I usually get 3 treatments per 1 capsule. So it's very cost-effective treatment to do, and you don't waste so much products while doing this treatment. And of course, we have several different shades to choose from. Of course, you can combine the colors, but what I've noticed in my salon when I do the treatments, I don't combine them because the colors are quite perfect already. Of course, if you want to have a very cold, dark color, which is not quite black, so you can combine deep black with dark brown, so you get this super dark chocolatey color. So that's actually the only situation where I would combine 2 colors. Okay, then we have to go through the ingredients, at least a couple of them, because most of the questions beauticians are going to ask us is related to the ingredients, because they have concerns about the safety issues, and that's why they are very interested in what those products are made of. And it's important to explain them how the henna works and what ingredients they have. So of course, the basic ingredient is henna itself. We have a neem tree powder in some of these colors because it's a hair conditioner. It treats the hair. And amla, or an Indian gooseberry, it's a skin and hair care agent, and it will brighten the color of henna. We have a effective hair growth promoter in these products, and then we need to have barium peroxide, which is it's restricted in EU. There's only a minimum amount of it on this product, so it's safe to use, but we need it because we want to accelerate the treatment. We don't have 2 hours to spend with one client. We have to speed up the process, so barium peroxide is perfect for this. It doesn't irritate most of the clients. For example, as I told you, I have several sensitive clients, and we haven't noticed any irritation or redness on the area. So even if we have this strong chemical ingredient on those products, it's very safe to use, and the amount is super small, so you don't have to worry about it. Of course, we have this kind of an oxidant because we have to get the color very deep to the hair, and this works like an oxidant. It speeds up the process also, and it makes sure that the color will stay on the hair. Then we have a citric acid. It actually, when we do the paste, we make the henna paste. Citric acid will make sure that the henna color will come out of the powder, and we have an even color to put on the client's hair. So citric acid is very important in this treatment. Do not recommend anyone to add lemon juice to their henna coloring paste. It's a widely known trick to do, but because these colors have this citric acid added to the formula, we don't need to add it lemon juice to the mix it. Okay, some of the products we are using during the treatment have castor oil. It actually grows hair and protects keratin. We also have a panthenol. It's a hair care, and it makes the skin and the hair very soft, and it nourishes. This is very good ingredient in our products. And then, of course, we have to educate our professionals to educate their clients to take good care of the henna after the treatment. Of course, with these sensitive colors, we are not going to be able to keep the color on the skin as long as sometimes we would like to. But on the other hand, not all clients want the henna treatment to last on the skin, but just on the hair. So with these sensitive colors, we are able to do that treatment. If the client is able to avoid water for 24 hours, it will, of course, help henna to stick on the skin too. I have tested washing the henna brows couple of hours after the treatment, and I actually had a sauna too, and I saw the color stayed on the hair as good as possible, but on the skin it didn't last. So this is something you have to make sure your clients understand. If the client wants it to stay on the skin for a bit longer, they need to avoid the water. They need to avoid bath and sauna and everything that can cause it to exfoliate away from the skin. In my experience, in my salon, I've been doing quite a few treatments now. I haven't had, thank God, not a single allergic reactions. Hopefully I will never experience those with my clients. But if you are afraid of that the client might get some kind of reaction, for example, she has history with severe allergies, or she is allergic to hair colors or something like that, always be very careful with the clients like that. And I would prefer making a patch or a sensitivity test 48 hours before the treatment, because that's how you make sure that at least you have done everything you can to make sure she's not going to get a reaction. Reactions can occur even if you do everything you can, but with these sensitive colors, they are so sensitive that I must be honest right now, I haven't been doing sensitivity tests, and I can tell you I'm super allergic to PPD. I can't dye my hair to dark anymore. I used to have almost black hair for 20 years, and I get a reaction right away. And I have been using these sensitive Candy Brows colors for myself several times. I've even tried this deep black henna, and I haven't had any reactions. When this is said, I would recommend to do the test if the client is very concerned, and if the client understands that there might be some kind of reactions, they've actually usually they've had reactions before. They are not so afraid of having some little irritations. But on the other hand, if they get enormous reactions, that's why this patch test is recommended. So just to make sure you're saved. Okay, as I told you about the PPD, my own experience and the experiences my clients have had, I've been able to do this treatment to them with no problem with these sensitive colors, and I wouldn't put a black color at first. So I would start with her with the lighter colors, and then go next time have a bit darker color, and I would end with the dark brown color. I wouldn't do her this deep black coloring. Of course, never ever do this treatment if the skin is broken or there's some kind of infection or irritation on the area. And of course a couple of or she has cancer treatments going on or something like that. Everything's just common sense is the most important partner when we are having henna treatment. So and about the starter kit, we have this is actually a complete kit. I have this kit in my salon, and I have one here at home for educational reasons. This is complete kit. You don't actually need anything except a few things. I will go through those. But of course, we have these different colors and 30 capsules per each. And then we have this pencil, and we use a thread for measuring. I will teach you how to use it on the video. Then we have, for example, this brush. It's the best henna brush I've ever tested. I just love it. It's so easy to use, and I show you on the video. And then, of course, we have these chemicals we use during the treatment. And then we have this scrub. I don't usually use scrub during the treatment unless the client has very, very oily skin. But of course, because I operate in Finland, the environment is harsh. The winter is very very cold, and the skin of the client is usually very thin and dry. So I don't usually want to irritate the skin before the treatments. Then we have Mix It. This is basic product we use every time. It's a solution we mix with the henna powder, and we get this paste where the color is formed, and it includes argan oil. It of course treats the skin and the hair, and at the beginning when you start doing the treatment, it's actually a bit tricky to find the correct dosing, because you should get this paste that's not going to spread all over. If it's too runny, it can spread. On the other hand, if the paste is too hard and thick, it does not absorb properly to the hair because there's not enough Mix It on it. My experience is that it absorbs Mix It, so it can be quite fluidy at first. And then we have Wash It. This is something we use at the beginning. Of course, if the client has a lot of makeup and her skin is super, super oily, we can, of course, clean it first with the foam cleanser. But Wash It is something that we use anyway with every client. This is something we use at the beginning. It's kind of like a shampoo. It will remove dead skin cells, fat, oil, anything from the skin and the hair, and it will open the scaly structure of the hair. At the beginning, I used to add this to the skin with a cotton swab. Nowadays, I use pad, and I start the treatment by putting this on the pad. Then I foam it with my hands. I use my hands to make the foam on the pad, and then I spread it to the skin, and then I clean it properly. I noticed that it's easier to use with a pad. On the video, I'm using the cotton swab, but to be honest, nowadays I prefer the pad. Okay, then we have a Treat It. This is something we use after the treatment because the henna will dry. It's like thick clay kind of a structure on the skin, and it's very hard to remove. At the beginning, I used to remove most of the henna with a moist cotton pad, but nowadays I just moisten it with the pad, and then I put treat it on it. And the treat it will change the structure of the dried henna to more liquid and kind of oily. So it's super easy to remove, and you don't get those little residues dropping on the client's hair or anything. And what I noticed that at the beginning, I used to put too little treated on the hair. Nowadays, I put it quite a lot, so it's almost white, the whole area. And I let it sit there for a second. So just let it work, do the work, so you don't have to work it. Use water and a cotton pad. You can remove this treated, and the henna is attached to the treated, so the henna is removed also. And of course, remember to clean the skin properly. We don't want to leave this on the skin or on the hair. This is the product we use at the end. This is a leave-on product. Okay, as I told you, we need a couple of extra products. Some people like to use this cream to protect the skin before the coloring. I've never used cream. I always just make the mapping, and I use my super good brush to make the shape. Then we have these tweezers. I can assure you these are the best tweezers I've been using like ever. These are super good. I use these every day, and they are in a perfect shape and condition. And I have been using them for about a year and a half, and I haven't noticed any problems with them. I can recommend very warmly these tweezers. And then we have, of course, Candy Brows scissors. If you want to cut the hair, if they are too long, and especially on men or older women, their hair can be very thick, and the individual eyebrow hairs can be very long. So before starting the treatment, you might need to cut the hair, so make it possible to get the henna on the bottom hairs too. So of course you do in this kind of situation, if the hair is very thick and long, always remove the extra hair at first, and then do the treatment, and at the end of the treatment you can refine the result with the scissors. Some clients, they don't want their hair to be cut, so you have to ask permission from the client before you do this. Okay, if you like to remove the facial hair, you can get this 250-gram candying paste, which is for face hair removal. It would be nice to be able to do this, but I can give you a little secret. I'm not so good in this. I usually just use tweezers. So it looks very nice, and it's very refined result if you remove the fine hair with this paste. So just do it if you're able. So hopefully I'm able to do it someday too. So hopefully. And then we of course have this body scrub caramel. As I told you before, it will enhance the adhesion of henna. Then we have boosted serum. if you have been doing laminations or you are selling lamination products, you know Boost is something you know already. It's this super treating product for home care. Okay, then we could go through the phases, the steps, step by step. Of course, we start the treatment. Now, of course, we talk with the client. We ask what she wants, what kind of color she wants to have, what do we recommend to her, what kind of shape she likes, and everything like that. We ask about the allergies, have she had any henna treatments before, does she know where she's coming, or everything like that. But after that, we can start the treatment, and of course we start by cleaning. So I usually start it with the foam cleanser because it's oil-free, and I remove the excess oil from the skin. If she has makeup on the area, foam cleanser removes it easily. Sometimes I use this scrub, but not always, as I told you about the irritation if the skin is very thin. And of course, we finish my cleansing process with wash it. So this was some shampoo kind of a product. So just to make sure the scaly structure is open, so I get the henna color absorbing to the hair so well as possible. Then we have to prepare the henna color. Of course, you choose the color and use mixed solution. You have to let it settle for about 10 minutes, just to make sure that the actual color, the dye in the paste is activated. Then you do the mapping. Mapping is when you do the shape of the work to the client's hair. I use the thread nowadays, and I've noticed it's definitely the best and easiest way to do it. It's cost effective. You get an even result on both sides, and of course, when you've tested a couple of times, it's easy to learn. And then, of course, we apply the henna color. As I instruct you on the video, it's it's important to operate on this certain procedure every time. So we start at the outside corner, as you see on this picture that I've taken. Actually, it's my colleague has taken it. It's me who's doing the treatment on the picture. I always start from the outer corner and the bottom line. So we never start henna treatment from the front. Okay, and then you have to remove the clay kind of henna color from the eyebrows. I use cotton pad. Nowadays, I more or less just moisten the clay with the cotton pad, and then I apply a thick layer treated on the hair, and I let it set for a minute. I let it act. It will soften the henna, and then I just remove it with a damp cotton pad. And nowadays, when I've been doing this way, I've noticed it's much easier to remove it. I don't remove so much of it with the cotton pad before applying treated. I actually let it stay there and just let the treated do the treatment. After this, you have to do the shaping, and as I told you, I use tweezers. And after making the correct shaping, I apply Fix It, and this is the leave-on product. It will make the beautiful shine, and you can actually brush the hair to the correct shape very easily. And of course, at the end, remember to give the client good home care instructions. So just to make sure she's happy with the treatment also later. Okay, then a couple of words about the mapping and the shaping. So of course you have to ask what the client wants, what she's looking for. Does she want a huge difference or natural looking? Why she's having this treatment? And of course, it's important, especially with the darker colors, and the bigger change you are about to make to her natural eyebrow look, the more attention you have to pay to the design and planning. So if you do good planning, the result is always good. But this is anyway a bit different treatment from the traditional coloring systems, especially with if you use henna colors that last on the skin, for example, for 7 days. The client will have to live with the results for days. So you have to make a good planning, and you have to have good techniques to do the treatment correctly. So because we want our clients to look nice and enhance them. These sensitive colors are they mainly stay on the hair, so these are good products for a person who hasn't been doing that much eyebrow treat. So these are easy products to start with. But later on, hopefully we get another henna colors for Candy Brows that are going to last on the skin longer and are suitable for bigger changes, bigger transformations we want to do to the client, because the color will stay on the skin longer. Always remember to recommend these to beauty professionals who are a bit afraid of these treatments, who haven't been doing microblading or pigmentations or permanent makeup systems. So these are good for the beginners. You will learn to choose the right color in after few treatments, and you are able to consult the client about the correct color. So this will take a bit time, but later on you will be able to choose the colors very easily. At the beginning, it feels hard, but after a couple of trainings, test clients, you will be able to choose it correctly. It's not that hard. And of course, I usually instruct people to follow henna artists on the social media, because, for example, in Instagram, you get these super nice videos where people make super beautiful henna brows, and you can learn a lot from those videos about the mapping and the shaping and the treatment. And for example, ombre brows, which is a treatment that we do when we make henna brows. So there's different techniques to get the good results. So just learn from the masters. Okay, and then of course we have to do the mapping and shaping. This is the basic instruction instructions how to do the correct shaping. So we have these basic rules we used to learn from the beautician school. This is it's easy to do with these sensitive colors. You don't have to pay so much attention about the correct mapping, because the color will stay on the hair mainly. But anyway, when you do the shaping with tweezers, it's important that you get the even results on both sides. So this is something we want to do correctly, and I show you on the video how to do it. It's quite often nowadays that the shape is like a wing. So there's a high point, and the beginning of the shape is thicker, and it gets thinner when it goes to the out corner. So this is important. Sometimes you see treatments that are very, very thin clients. Sometimes themselves want to do very, very thin treatments, and especially older women, and they are afraid of thick eyebrows. And for example, I had last week a client who never had this treatment before, and she had this very like she had drawn with a pencil her eyebrows, and I asked her if it's okay if I make them a bit thicker from the inner corner. She was a bit afraid. I promised her she's not going to look like a monster, or I won't do too huge difference. And when the treatment was done, she was super happy. She just looked at her on the mirror, and she couldn't believe that she looked so nice with her new eyebrows. She told me she was afraid when I asked her about the to be able to do a thicker eyebrows, but the result was so good. I didn't do a huge difference, but even if with the small differences with the thickness, we can make a client look much nicer. So she was so happy that she right away had another appointment to in 6 weeks. So sometimes the clients are just need a little push, and just help to find the right color and the right shape. So this is a nice story from real life, but anyway, so we have this special routine. As I told you, we always start at the outer corner and bottom line of the brows. This is how we make sure the eyebrows are darker from the outside and from the bottom line. And then we want to have this inner corner kind of a fading color. It's called ombre brows, and we have a couple of different techniques to do this. Easiest way, what we are going to do on the video is to add the color first on the outer part of the eyebrows, and just at the end of the treatment to the inner corner, and we remove the henna also first from the inner corner part. So that's how we get this ombre brows, this fading technique. Okay, so let's start the treatment with the cleaning. I start using wash it. I clean the eyebrows properly. As you can see, there's a little foam on it. So I have to remove all the oil and all the dead skin cells. I want to open the scaly structure of the hair before I add the henna. And I have to remove it properly. So we we do not want to have any residues left on the hair when we add the henna. So remember to clean the hair properly after this with the moist cotton pad. I usually use quite a lot of water during this part because I totally want to remove every bit of dirt or makeup or anything from the hair. And then I do the paste. In this video, at this part, I use classic brown, but to be honest, on her, I use this deep black color. That's quite thick. It could be a little bit more liquid, but I usually nowadays I start with quite thick consistency. I mean, the paste is quite thick because I don't want it to run. And when I add more henna, I usually add it to the hair for 2 or 3 times on top of the last henna. At this point, I usually make it very runny. So I add some mix it on it to make it more liquid. And that's how I make sure when the first layer is thicker, I make sure it doesn't run or it doesn't go to places I don't want it to go, because I don't use this any cream to protect the skin on the next to the eyebrows. That's why I usually make the first treatment with a thicker henna, and later on I add more liquidy henna. And then at this part I make the mapping. Because of the training, I colored the whole thread with the pencil. Normally I wouldn't do it because I don't want to get my client's face colored, but I noticed that the string or the thread is not properly seen on the video. I had to add more color to it just to make sure the clients, I mean the students, will see how do I shape the or do the mapping correctly. It doesn't have to go to the correct places at the beginning. I just make myself some markings where to end, and then later on I will change I will use my pencil to do the final shaping. At the beginning, this is a bit tricky, but when you've done it a few times, you will learn to do it properly. Just be careful not to cut her skin. On this video, I of course, all my movements are very theatrical because I have to make sure everyone understands what I'm doing and how my hands are moving or something. So I'm doing it quite harshly looking way. In practice, what we do in a salon, we make it, it's not such violent looking. So I just want to make sure I get the proper markings on the skin. So that's why I do it like that. I recommend to you to have 2 pencils. The other one is sharpened for the drawing, and the other one is flat like this one for for getting the color to the thread. So I'm using the same pencil for both, and as you can see, it's not quite easy, but I recommend to use to have two different pencils for this mapping part. If I see that I've made a mistake, I can remove color with the cotton swab. And I always try to look the client's face from all angles, just to make sure I get the full picture. I never operate just from the above or from down. I try to look all the corners and try to also see if the client have some kind of a habit to lift her left or right eyebrow. Do I have to consider it while I'm making the shaping? As you can see, I'm adding the henna, and I start with the micro brush. I know some people prefer doing it with micro brushes because you just roll them out, so you don't have to wash them. But as you can see, I quite quickly changed into my favorite brush, and I can assure you I get much better results with this. So why not to use the brush when you have a perfect brush in your kit? So this is the best way. And I start from the bottom line, and then I go to the outer corner, and I want to make sure the color will be darker on the outer corner of the eye. So this is why I'm doing this certain way. So I want to make sure the color will fade to the inner corner. You can't see it on this video, but actually I make sure that I make both eyebrows from the outer corner and bottom part first, and then the inner corners for both. And if I want to sharpen the shape, I can take my this micro brush and remove henna from the skin, and I have to do it immediately. I can't wait for 10 minutes because it will attach to the skin, so I have to remove it right away. And this is usually the part where inexperienced henna artists, they hurry up. You don't have to hurry up. You can't over process the henna, so you have time. Just take your time to do the correct shaping, and when you're sure that you have chosen the correct color from the client, it doesn't matter if it takes you like 20 minutes to make the correct shape. Just try to do the correct shaping. So as you can see, I'm adding henna to her eyebrows, to the areas that I know the henna is starting to cure. What I'm trying to do, I started with quite a thick paste, and now I'm using very runny henna. As you can see from the video, it's very liquidy, and this is how I make sure the color will really thick to the skin and to the hair. So this is important. And now, because I'm at the end of the treatment, I'm going to have henna on her skin less than 5 minutes from this moment. I put the final touch to the inner corner, and I will remove it in very fast. I would say less than 5 minutes from the moment when I put the final part. And as you can see, I add more henna to the areas that have cured. And now, if you have to check if the result is good, always remove henna from the inner corner. Never make the inspection from the outer corner or any other part. You always have to check the inner corner. Just because of that's the part where we want to remove the henna if when we are finished. So that's the lighter part. And if you see that okay, I'm not ready, the henna hasn't attached to the skin properly, you can always add some henna again to the hair and skin. And then, as I told you before, I used to use quite a lot of water and quite a few cotton pads to remove the henna from the area. But nowadays I don't clean it so properly. I more rely on the product. So I will, as you can see, it's hard to remove. So I don't anymore use my kind of a manpower to do this. I let the products work. So I use treated to do it. So I add treated on the henna and let it settle there for a minute. So I've noticed that it's much easier and quicker way to remove the henna. And a thick layer, that's how you make sure the henna will be easily removed. It's so nice because it's kind of it melts the henna away. So now when you use the cotton pad, it just flows away. It's like butter. It's so nice and easy. And as you can see, the color is a bit uneven right now, but when we use fix it, it will look nice and even. So sometimes it looks a bit different at the beginning when you are doing the treatment. And then of course I use my tweezers to remove the hair from the parts I don't want them to be. So this shaping is important part. And as you can see, she doesn't have a lot of hair. I mean, eyebrows on the wrong places, but even if I do this, it will look so neat and so nice. And I usually remove all the white hair too. So I try to remove all the hair that I find, even the white ones. So if she uses makeup, those white hair will be visible. So that's why I usually take everything. I just go through the whole area, even if I don't see anything. So sometimes my tweezers just find something and I just do it mechanically. And then we finally use Fix It to to treat hair, and we get the scaly structure closed, so the henna will stick on the hair for a long time, and we get this even beautiful color. So you can see the final result. Of course, we made this huge theatrical shaping for her, because this is an education video. We wanted to have a huge transformation, so usually we don't do this kind of treatments in our salon, but it's easier to show you the differences and the techniques when we use huge transformation. As you can see, they are quite thick and quite black, but after a couple of washes, they will be super nice and good looking.